Have you ever noticed how one moment can completely change the conversation around a franchise? Just a few days ago, Caitlin Clark was sitting on the Indiana Fever bench when cameras caught a tense exchange between her and head coach Stephanie White. It lasted only seconds, but those few seconds were enough to send social media into a frenzy. Suddenly, fans weren't talking about wins, losses, or playoff positioning anymore. They were asking a much bigger question. Is something seriously wrong inside the Indiana Fever? And before anyone could answer that question, another rumor exploded across the basketball world. A rumor so wild that many fans refused to believe it. A rumor suggesting that the Fever could eventually move on from the very player who transformed the franchise overnight. Now, let's be clear. No credible reports have confirmed that. But the fact that so many people are even discussing it tells you everything about how tense things have become around Indiana, and what happened next only made the conversation louder. The Fever entered this season with enormous expectations. Last year was supposed to be the beginning. This year was supposed to be the breakthrough. Instead, frustration started showing up almost immediately. Fans expected dominance. They expected chemistry. They expected a team built entirely around one of the most exciting players women's basketball has ever seen. But reality has been much messier. Every turnover becomes a debate. Every loss becomes a headline. Every coaching decision gets dissected online. And when you're the biggest attraction in the entire league, every little crack suddenly looks like a major problem. That's exactly what happened after the sideline incident. Video clips spread everywhere. Fans zoomed in on body language. People analyzed facial expressions. Entire podcasts were created around a few seconds of footage. The internet had already reached its verdict before either side even spoke. Then came the response. Stephanie White quickly downplayed the situation. Caitlin Clark did the same. Both insisted it wasn't a major issue. Both described it as competitive people trying to win basketball games. On the surface, that should have ended the story. Instead, it made people even more curious, because fans weren't just reacting to one moment. They were reacting to months of growing frustration. And that frustration goes far beyond a single exchange on the bench. The real issue is expectations. When Clark entered the WNBA, she wasn't treated like a normal rookie. She arrived with unprecedented attention. Sold-out arenas followed her. Television ratings exploded. Merchandise sales skyrocketed. Entire franchises saw attendance boosts whenever she came to town. Suddenly, every game felt bigger. Every storyline felt bigger. And every setback felt bigger too. The Fever weren't simply developing a young superstar anymore. They were carrying the weight of the league's biggest attraction. That's a lot of pressure for any organization, especially when results don't immediately match expectations. And that's where things started getting complicated, because some fans believe Clark isn't being used correctly. They point to her college career. They point to the freedom she had offensively. They point to the pace she played with. They point to the confidence she displayed every single night. Then they watch Indiana and wonder why things sometimes look different. Why does the offense seem slower? Why does the spacing look different? Why doesn't everything revolve around her strengths? These questions have fueled countless debates throughout the season. Some blame coaching, others blame roster construction. Others argue that Clark simply needs time to adjust to professional basketball. But regardless of which side you're on, one thing is undeniable. The conversation has become emotional, and emotional conversations create rumors. That's exactly what happened when reports began circulating about a lengthy team meeting. Veteran guard Sophie Cunningham revealed that the Fever had gathered for an extended discussion following difficult performances. Now, team meetings happen all the time in sports. They're not unusual. They're not automatically signs of disaster, but context matters. When expectations are sky high and frustration is growing, every meeting suddenly feels more important. Fans immediately started wondering what was said behind closed doors. Were players frustrated? Were coaches frustrated? Were adjustments being demanded? Nobody outside the room knew. But uncertainty creates speculation, and speculation quickly became the dominant storyline. Then came the tweet that changed everything. A comment from Michael Thompson suddenly sent the basketball world into overdrive. Within hours,